From rags to riches, Oprah's lesson in resilience. She once sat in a small wooden chair inside her grandmother's modest house in Mississippi, reading aloud from the Bible to anyone who would listen. The floorboards creaked, the room smelled faintly of laundry soap, and the light that filtered in was dim. That little girl was Oprah Winfrey, and in those moments, no one could have predicted she would one day stand on the world stage as one of the most influential women alive. Her world was small, but her imagination was vast. She would read in the kitchen as her grandmother stirred pots on the stove, or out on the porch where chickens scratched the dirt. Neighbors might pass by and smile, yet Oprah's mind was already soaring far beyond the dusty road outside. Oprah's story did not begin with fame, wealth, or opportunity. It began with poverty, rejection, and hardship. Her early life was filled with silence and shadows, yet within her was a spark, an unshakable desire to speak, to share, to connect. She loved stories. She loved voices. She loved the idea that words could move people's hearts. Imagine being that child, barefoot, wearing clothes that were often secondhand, but holding inside a dream so large it frightened even you. At times, the world around her did not believe in possibilities, yet she kept speaking, even when no one clapped, even when the only audience was herself. This opening scene matters because it reminds us that greatness does not start with applause. It starts with the quiet decision to keep going, to believe in something more. Oprah's journey would become a lesson for millions, that no matter where you come from, you can begin again. And now, let me ask you, where are you watching this from and what time is it right now? Oprah's childhood was not only poor, it was painful. She faced rejection from those closest to her, moved from place to place, and felt the sting of being unwanted. At school, she sometimes struggled to fit in. Her accent, her clothes, her background, these made her stand out, and not always in a way that felt kind. By the time she was a teenager, she had already seen more hardship than many adults. Yet her difficulties were not unique. They mirrored the struggles many of us face in different forms. For those between 25 and 40, the world may not look the same, but the pressures feel familiar. The feeling of being behind in your career, while others seem to race ahead. The weight of relationships that fail when you hoped they would last. The comparison trap of scrolling through other people's lives and wondering, why not me? And beyond career or love, there is also the quiet exhaustion of trying to be everything at once, to be successful, to be attractive, to be financially secure, to be happy, all while wondering if any of it is enough. These are the invisible battles that drain energy each day, and they echo the loneliness Oprah once felt in her own home. This is the point where many people stop believing. They decide that their story is already written, that their chance has passed. But Oprah's life teaches us that struggle is not a sentence. It is a chapter that can be rewritten if you are willing to face the page again. Think about your own life right now. Perhaps you feel invisible in your job. Maybe you are carrying financial pressure that keeps you awake at night. Or perhaps you are balancing the expectations of family, career, and personal dreams, feeling that none of it is enough. Oprah knew that pain. She carried it, but she also used it. Her story is proof that reflection can become fuel, and wounds can become wisdom. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt stuck in the same way? There came a moment when Oprah was told she was not good enough for television. Her bosses said she was too emotional, that she did not fit the polished image they wanted. For many people, that kind of rejection would have been the end. But for Oprah, it became the beginning. Here lies the hidden key. Success is not the absence of pain, but the ability to carry it differently. In English, there's a word that captures this quality: resilience. Resilience means the power to bounce back after being knocked down. Oprah embodied resilience when she turned every no into an opportunity to prepare for a bigger yes. Another phrase often used in motivation is rise above. It means to move beyond criticism, failure, or negativity without letting it drag you down. Oprah did not deny her pain, but she chose to rise above it, proving that rejection was not her definition. And perhaps the most powerful phrase is against all odds. This means succeeding even when everything seems stacked against you. Think about it. A poor girl from Mississippi, a young woman told she was not fit for TV, becoming one of the richest and most admired figures in the world. That is triumph against all odds. These words are not just vocabulary. They are survival tools. Repeat them, write them down, and notice how they feel when you speak them. Resilience. Rise above. Against all odds. They carry weight, just as Oprah's journey does. If you want to apply them, imagine small steps. Resilience when you fail an exam. Rise above when someone doubts your dream. Succeed against all odds when life seems impossible. That is how you use English as more than words. It becomes a mindset. Your hidden key may not look like hers, but the principle remains. The words you choose can shape the way you face your trials. Oprah once lost her job as a news anchor. She was devastated, sitting in silence after being told she was not right for the role. Imagine the humiliation, being told your dream is not yours to keep. For a moment, she thought it was over, but life has a way of turning endings into beginnings. That very setback led her to host a small talk show. The ratings climbed, the audience grew, and soon that talk show became the Oprah Winfrey Show, a cultural force that inspired millions. She once said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." These 6 words capture the essence of her transformation. She did not erase her pain. She transformed it into lessons, into compassion, into power that connected her with others. This is the emotional climax of her story, the point where despair was rewritten into destiny. And it is here that her life became a mirror for ours. Every one of us faces moments when we are told we are not enough. Every one of us knows the feeling of doors slamming shut. But what matters most is not the door that closed, but the one we choose to knock on next. And when the Oprah Winfrey Show began to rise, something beautiful happened. Audiences felt she was speaking directly to them. They saw themselves in her laughter, her tears, her honesty. What was once a career-ending rejection became the seed of a worldwide connection. And so, I want to ask you, if you could change one habit this week, what would it be? Sometimes change begins not with massive plans, but with a single habit, a choice to stand a little taller, to speak a little braver, to believe a little deeper. Imagine life as a garden. Some seeds are planted in rocky soil, others in fertile ground. Oprah's soil was rocky, yet she kept watering her dreams. Storms came, poverty, rejection, criticism, but still the roots of her determination pushed deeper. Healing begins when we see our struggles not as punishments, but as preparation. The harsh winds that bend a tree also strengthen its trunk. In the same way, every obstacle Oprah faced became part of the strength she carried later. For you, perhaps the storm looks like a job loss, a broken relationship, or a fear of not being enough. But storms are not only destructive, they also bring rain. They make the soil softer, ready for new growth. So pause and ask yourself, what part of your life right now could be rain in disguise? Where is the hidden growth? To reframe your story is to take the same facts and see them with new eyes. Oprah did not deny her pain, but she told it differently. Instead of saying, "I was rejected," she could say, "I was redirected." That change in language changes everything. Think of it as watching a small seed push through the soil after the rain. At first it looks fragile, yet with time it grows strong enough to shade others. Your healing may begin in the same way, by reframing your story, by telling yourself not just what broke you, but what built you. And if you need a sentence for today, try this. I was redirected, not rejected. Say it when an email says no, when a friend forgets, when plans collapse. Breathe slowly, put your hand over your heart, and count to 5. Notice the calm returning. Growth is quiet at first, but it is real. Keep watering what you cannot see. Here we stand at the end of Oprah's journey, but truly, it is the beginning of yours. Her story reminds us that no one is trapped by where they started. Poverty is not the final word. Rejection is not the last sentence. At this moment, you stand between two paths. One is the path of comfort, staying exactly where you are, safe but unchanged. The other is the path of growth, uncertain but filled with possibility. Which path will you take? To make this real, here is your simple action plan. Today, say out loud, I rise above difficulties. Use this sentence when you face something hard. Let it remind you that you too can rise above, just as Oprah did. Remember, her triumph was not magic. It was choice, repeated again and again. And those same choices are waiting for you. Picture it as 2 roads stretching before you, one familiar but narrow, the other wide with unknown turns. Entonces, Oprah chose the harder road, and because of that, she changed her life and the lives of millions. Before you choose, picture tomorrow morning. The alarm rings, doubts whisper, and you answer with a single line, I rise above difficulties. Take one practical step. Send the message, open the document, walk 10 minutes. Small courage compounds. Choose the path of growth today, and let your future self thank you. Begin now. The smallest yes reshapes the entire day. If this video gave you something meaningful, share it with someone who needs encouragement today. And subscribe to keep walking with us on this journey of English and self-growth.